So how did the making of the feature film Kin Spirits get started? Let's find out. I got an idea for a script and I wrote it, and then I got some help from a very good friend of mine, and we got another writer involved to knock it into shape because I have no background in screenwriting. And around the same time, I found 3 other scripts that I really liked, and I had the opportunity to do 2 things with 2 different people, I should say. One person I met who I'd acted with, and they led me to believe that I had someone who was, interested in financing these films, which I thought was fantastic, of course. And I introduced this person to a number of people, and well, long story short, turns out he may have been a bit of a con man, face of an angel, but and all these people I introduced him to, they had their time wasted, and they got mucked around. And even though they know I'm not directly responsible for that, I introduced him to them in goodwill, but still, last 2 times I heard about him were, one, I got an email from him. He'd been arrested at the airport. That's a few years ago. And the very last thing I heard about him was about 2 years ago, that he was due in court because he'd started an acting agency and apparently been ripping people off. So the thing is that you can see that he's a wonderful person, wonderful sense of humour, cheeky, playful. So the goodness is in him. And I hope that he gets back on the right track. I really do. The second opportunity was, again, with someone I'd worked with, and they were putting together they were part of a bigger package of films that were going for a big chunk of money from a group of investors. And I was asked if I wanted to put forward these 4 films that I had, one I'd written and 3 that I'd optioned. And what happened was that, I put together some proposals of like business plans for each of these films, and the usual stuff, what's it about, why they should watch it, projections about money and all that kind of stuff. Just like a normal business plan. And they took a long time to get back with me to show me their business plan, which incorporated my projects with their projects that were then going to be put with a bigger bunch of projects. It took them a very long time to get back to me. And when they did, the project plan had great looking numbers. In fact, I didn't even understand them. They were quite complex. But someone did explain them to me once, and I got it at the time. And it was clearly well worked out, all the numbers. The rest of it, terrible, absolutely terrible. I could have put together a better business plan in hours. And this was, I think, 6 months, a year after first being involved with them. And I knew then that this is a dud. No one's going to look at any of this. Nothing ever happened. I never heard from them again. So it wasn't a great start. Let's put it that way. But there's probably, if there's any indie filmmakers watching this, they will know that they've probably had similar experiences. Maybe not exactly the same as those 2 experiences I had, but something along the lines of those things. So it just seems to be part of the journey, I suppose. What happened then? I have a memory like a sieve, so I have to flip backwards and forwards. Then, oh, and my laptop started doing that. Eek. Might just have to cut here for a second while I sort out my laptop. I don't know what went wrong there, but I have switched to my phone just to make it easier to read my little notes. I also noticed I didn't have one of my lights on, so I'm not going to, hide away from the unpolished bits of what I'm doing. So, I'm sure that as I do more and more videos, they'll get more and more polished looking, and I'll remember to turn the lights on, things like that. Okay, so we talked about the first two experiences, and then with trying to get funding for the 4 films, and then and one thing that happened is that the film I wrote myself, there was someone who might have been interested in making it, and what they wanted to do was remove the main beat, if you like, from the film, the main, the high point of the drama. They wanted to remove that part and remove me. So I just couldn't do it. Maybe I should have just, tried to sell the script to them and just back away and take the money to make something else. But I don't know. I think when you come at something later in life, you're more reluctant to make concessions in that way. Maybe because you're not sure, to be frank, not sure how much time you have that you will be able to, sort of recover from that and build the next thing. You want to do what you want to do. And I didn't make big life changes and start making films so to not do what I want to do, even if it takes me a long, painful path to get there. I'm okay with that. So yeah, I rejected that possibility. I mean, I was never officially made an offer or anything, but there was certainly interest there. The first thing we did and I decided to make Kin Spirits. To be honest with you, I can't remember why I chose Kin Spirits out of the other ones, which are called Hadron, fantastic sci-fi film with a teenage female lead and her younger sister, the main characters. It's their story. I'll talk more about these other projects in future videos. There's one called The Last Daves, about how 2 very different men have to survive in a post-apocalyptic world. They have to get on to survive. And the last one is the one that I originally wrote, The Art of Resurrection, about a creative person finding his path again through love. I came up with the idea of, along with the people working around me, I'm not going to mention specific names, because if I mention a few and I don't mention others, I don't know, it always feels a bit weird, so I'll just speak in general terms. People will know what I'm talking about. The idea was we'd create a pitch for a crowdfunding campaign, and that pitch would have a scene from the film interweaved with the funding pitch.
That man there, that's Bill, producer and director. And as an actor himself, Bill truly understands the fellow thespians, knows how to get the best performance out of them. He's going to create one big happy family here. Look at this. It's going to click. It's going to work. It's going to come together.
I think it'll work pretty well, and got good feedback, and people thought it was clever and funny, and it was all good, but got very little money. I mean, I think it's the first time I ever tried crowdfunding, so I'm probably doing it all wrong. But it didn't raise much. So what I did was I turned around to all the people involved and said, we've got, X amount, and we can just get on with it and make. Now that my camera is giving me strange messages along with my laptop, I think it's probably best I stop here and get all that sorted out, and I'll pick up the story in the next video. Hope to see you there.